While we sit back and watch Caitlin Clark fall victim to different things all the time, we keep being told it's not about race.
We're doing everything we know available to us at this point, which is to continue to raise her profile and have direct conversations.
Brittney Griner had had enough. She had stayed quiet through years of headlines, whispers, and passive-aggressive questions about her place in the league, about her value, and about what it meant to be a towering, unapologetically dominant figure in women's basketball. But this time, after months of silence amid swirling WNBA controversies, Griner finally snapped. And when she did, she directed her fury at the very top of the basketball food chain, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. It all started with a seemingly innocent media moment, a press conference where Silver was asked about the WNBA's growing spotlight, thanks in large part to the explosive rookie year of Caitlin Clark.
Part of our decision to not take a higher profile here, frankly, came at the suggestion of experts.
Silver, ever diplomatic, praised the incredible surge of interest in the league and highlighted Clark's marketability, comparing it to the arrival of Larry Bird and Magic Johnson in the NBA. It was a historic opportunity, he said, a turning point. But for Griner, that comment felt like a slap in the face. She wasn't against Clark, not personally. She admired her talent, respected the buzz, and even admitted that Clark brought much-needed attention to the WNBA. But what she couldn't stomach, what sent her over the edge, was the implication that this attention was something new, something earned only now that a young white superstar had entered the spotlight. Griner's message was loud and clear. Where was this love when we were carrying the league on our backs? For years, players like Brittney Griner, Diana Taurasi, Sylvia Fowles, Angel McCoughtry, and others had grinded through WNBA seasons with little media coverage, minimal endorsement deals, and salaries that could barely support a family.
Camera saying what appeared to be some not very nice things about white girl Caitlin Clark during her little WNBA game last night.
These were women who played overseas during the off-season just to survive. They had been dunking, defending, dominating, and doing it all without the fanfare. Now, with one media darling lighting up headlines, the league was suddenly a hot commodity. Griner didn't mince words. She took to social media, then followed up in post-game interviews. Her voice was clear, her tone sharp, her words unshakable. I've been in this league for over a decade. I've played through injuries, traveled across the world, represented this country, been a champion, and I didn't see Adam Silver showing up to my games. I didn't see the networks rushing to air our matches. What really ignited the fire, though, wasn't just the unequal media treatment. It was the gender twist behind it all. Because the moment Caitlin Clark was put under the microscope, a strange shift occurred. The WNBA was no longer treated as a league of powerful professional athletes. Instead, many fans and media outlets began approaching it like a novelty show. The language changed. The commentary felt patronizing. The rough play that had always been part of pro basketball? Suddenly, it was labeled too aggressive. Trash talk, once celebrated in the NBA, became bullying in the WNBA. Griner saw it happening in real time, and she was livid. "This league is not a daycare," she said. "We're not going to soften the game because suddenly people who never watched us before want to act surprised that we play with intensity. This isn't new. We've always played with fire. Just because it's women on the court doesn't mean it's not real basketball."
But it looked like right here she says, effing white girls. Oh man, effing trash, effing white girls.
Her frustration hit a boiling point after a nationally televised game between the Phoenix Mercury and the Indiana Fever. Clark had taken a hard screen, something routine in basketball, but it became a viral clip overnight. Pundits flooded sports talk shows, debating whether the WNBA needed to protect its new star. Some went as far as saying that the league had a violence problem. Griner's response? Pure defiance. "You protect stars by letting them earn their stripes," she fired back. "You don't hand them a bubble and say, 'Be careful, the big girls might hurt you.' That's not how legends are made. That's how you insult every woman who's fought to make this league what it is. But there was another layer to her anger. One that had nothing to do with Clark, and everything to do with how Adam Silver's NBA, and by extension the WNBA, had failed to address the gender pay gap, failed to prioritize player safety, and failed to create a consistent national narrative that respected women's basketball as a sport in its own right. We keep hearing about change. We keep hearing that this is the turning point, Griner said. But we've been told that for years. What's different now? The only thing that's changed is who the cameras are finally pointing at.
We're doing everything we know available to us at this point, which is to continue to raise her profile and have direct conversations.
Her words sparked a storm. Former WNBA stars jumped into the conversation. Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, even Cheryl Miller, all echoed Griner's sentiment. It's not about hating on Caitlin, Leslie said during a broadcast. It's about asking why it took this long for people to care. Brittney's right. We've been here. Meanwhile, social media exploded with debate. Some fans praised Griner's honesty, calling her a real one for standing up to the establishment. Others accused her of bitterness or jealousy. But Griner didn't care. This wasn't a popularity contest, this was about respect. And as the drama played out, Adam Silver remained largely silent. His team released a carefully worded statement emphasizing the NBA's continued support for the WNBA and the league's commitment to growth. But for Griner, it wasn't enough. Support isn't a slogan, she said. It's action. It's showing up. It's investing real dollars, not just talking points. Until we see that, it's all lip service.
My question is, what action is being taken against her for this blatant racism? Of course.
Her criticism wasn't just directed at Silver personally, it was aimed at the system he represented. The same system that had allowed male players to become millionaires while female stars juggled side gigs. The same system that celebrated physicality in the NBA but demonized it in the WNBA. The same system that turned a blind eye to players' sacrifices until one player brought a spotlight big enough for the league to finally cash in. But Griner's stand wasn't just about calling out injustice, it was also a rallying cry. She encouraged her teammates, her peers, and the next generation of WNBA athletes to own their power, to speak up, to demand more. We don't need to wait for someone to come save this league, she said. We are this league, and we've earned the right to be heard.
While we sit back and watch Caitlin Clark fall victim to different things all the time, we keep being told it's not about race.
Even as the season went on, the controversy lingered. Every hard foul, every game with lopsided coverage, every time the spotlight dimmed on veterans in favor of viral moments, the tension rose. But with that tension came momentum. Sponsorships began trickling in, not just for rookies, but for longtime stars. Broadcasters finally expanded their coverage beyond the same two teams. Merchandise sales went up, and fans, real fans, started asking the hard questions. Why did it take this long for the WNBA to get attention? Why were players like Griner only now being given their flowers? And amid all that, Griner kept showing up, kept playing, kept dominating. Her presence wasn't just physical, it was symbolic. She had become the voice of the locker room, the veteran who wasn't afraid to call out the league, the media, and the fans all at once. She had been to hell and back, literally, after her detainment in Russia, and returned with zero tolerance for the same old games. This isn't just about me, she said. This is about every woman who's ever been told to wait her turn, to stay quiet, to be grateful for crumbs. We're done waiting. Her words echoed in the arenas, on podcasts, across social feeds. Even those who didn't agree with her tone had to acknowledge her impact. Brittney Griner had forced a conversation that the WNBA and the NBA could no longer avoid.
WNBA and its brother league, the NBA, we have a huge responsibility to Brittney Griner as one of our players.
Adam Silver, known for his diplomacy, eventually made a quiet visit to a Mercury game. He shook hands, posed for pictures. But the look on Griner's face said it all. You're late. And we noticed. In the weeks that followed, more female players felt emboldened. They spoke out about travel conditions, pay discrepancies, media priorities. It wasn't just a ripple effect, it was a movement. The league had changed, not because of one rookie, but because veterans refused to be erased. Because Brittney Griner made sure the world remembered that this league had been carried for years by women who weren't always media-friendly, market-tested, or headline-approved, but who bled for the game anyway.
She now appears to be calling out Caitlin Clark and all trash effing white girls in the WNBA again.
And that's the real twist in this WNBA drama. It wasn't about one player being too rough or another being too soft. It wasn't about old stars versus new stars. It was about the underlying current that had been bubbling for years, finally bursting into the open. Griner lit the match, and the whole system had to feel the heat. Subscribe to the channel, catch a dime. We'll catch you in the next one.